We interrupt this program for a special bulletin. Here now is Sandy Hill.
Seismologists at Caltech now report at least 3 separate seismic events tonight, each in the northern hemisphere, with earth tremors of magnitude 8.5 and above. Now, the first location is believed to be in the Thunder Basin area of Wyoming. That's about 200 miles east of Casper. So far, we have no reports of casualties. The other 2 sites in Europe and Asia have not been identified. But stay tuned at 11 o'clock news for further details. We now resume our regularly scheduled program.
We interrupt this program for a special report from Evening World News in Washington. Here now is Chief National Affairs Correspondent Sander Van Oker.
Good evening. A meteor shower, which appears at this time every year, erupted into a massive cosmic event tonight as pieces of an enormous asteroid plunged to Earth. Reports are just coming in, but it appears that at 8:24 p.m. Eastern Time, the near-Earth asteroid known as 6645 Venturi hurtled from space and broke apart, striking the Earth at 3 separate points around the globe. Aftershocks were felt from Kamchatka Island in the Aleutians to Santiago, Chile. In all 3 cases, the meteorites hit deserted rural areas, leaving wide impact zones. Scientists say if any one of them had struck near an urban center, the results would have been catastrophic. We begin our coverage with correspondent Pamela Barnes outside Mount Palomar Observatory in the mountains east of San Diego.
Sandy, as this story first broke, the report suggested that 3 massive earthquakes struck worldwide. The initial shock waves registered within minutes of each other at Caltech. The best image we have right now is this infrared shot from a KH-11 reconnaissance satellite. The crater is 2.4 kilometers wide, more than 1.5 miles across. The red you see around the rim is a section of scorched earth from a wildfire that set the grasslands ablaze at the moment of impact.
Correspondent Bree Walker was vacationing in Wyoming when the meteor hit. She came in with the first fire crews, and we go to her above the crater. I'm told we're having trouble with the feed from Wyoming, so we'll bring Bree Walker's report to you as soon as possible. In the meantime, we go to Barry Steinbrenner of affiliate KTML in Casper, Wyoming.
With fires from the meteor crater raging out of control, units from the 3rd Air National Guard Wing were quickly called in to extinguish the flames. More than 10,000 people living west of Thunder Basin are being evacuated by National Guardsmen amid fears the fires may spread. And there are numerous reports of power outages both north and east of Cheyenne. This is Barry Steinbrenner, KTML Action News, Casper, Wyoming.
I'm told we've now contacted correspondent Bree Walker. She now brings us pictures of what is being called Impact Site Alpha, located 60 miles north of Grover's Mill, Wyoming. Bree, can you hear us?
Sandy, as you well know, I've covered my share of disasters. The LA riots, Hurricane Andrew, last year's floods in the Mississippi, even Mount St. Helens when she blew. But nothing I've ever encountered could have prepared me for this. Let's give you a look from the chopper's camera mounted below.
What you're looking at now is the crater itself. A massive inferno is the only way you could describe this. In fact, one of the firefighters I talked to said temperatures were near 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit and above. Any human being within miles of this impact would have been incinerated in seconds. As we came in through the smoke and the haze along the crater's east rim, the scene of devastation below was unbelievable, with dozens of state troopers and National Guardsmen surrounding the impact site. When the asteroid hit, it touched off a massive firestorm that destroyed much of Thunder Basin. We're told that chopper you see down below is flying a team of hazardous materials specialists from the Department of Energy. We expect that they'll be checking for radiation or any potentially deadly chemicals that might still be off-gassing from the site. And Sandy, we're just getting word that there may have been some survivors along the Thunder Basin National Grasslands. We're going to go over there now for a look.
The two other pieces of this gigantic meteorite came down first in the Gobi Desert of China along the southern edge of Mongolia, and minutes later in a mountainous area of the Pyrenees about 20 miles south of Lourdes in southern France. Now tentatively known as Impact Site Bravo, Lourdes was the site in 1858 of a fabled visitation by the Virgin Mary. It's been a mecca for religious pilgrims ever since. But tonight, as correspondent Paul Whitaker reports, the mood there is one of fear.
The churches are full here tonight with religious pilgrims giving thanks, but not because they came to this holy site, because they're alive. Only hours before the asteroid fell in the mountains to the south, hundreds of people were still on the snow-capped peaks after a long day of recreation and skiing.
On était dans le dernier téléphérique de la journée.
He was in the last
avec tous les
cable
amis,
car off the
et
mountain,
puis tout d'un coup, tout a
just
commencé
as
à
the
bouger
earth
comme
started
ça.
to shake.
Et puis le ciel
He and his
s'est
friends
ouvert avec
looked
une
up to the
immense
sky
boule de feu.
and saw a huge fireball streaking across the sky.
J'ai dit à tous mes amis.
This woman, Sylvie Chenard, also survived, but when she got down, she discovered her husband, Jean-Paul, was missing.
Il était le dernier à descendre la pente. Il voulait skier encore une. I took down the cable car, and Jean said he wanted to ski down for the last run of the day, and he didn't come back.
Ironically, today was their 3rd anniversary. French rescue teams are combing the mountainside for skier Jean-Paul Chenard. A bitter twist to an already frightening turn of events. The French have an expression, plus ça change, plus c'est la même chose. The more things change, the more they stay the same. But tonight, as the lucky ones celebrate, happy to be alive, one senses these people will never be quite the same again. Paul Whitaker reporting from Lourdes, France.
Little is known tonight about the 3rd impact site in China. But as correspondent Denise Wong reports from Beijing, the communist government has put the country on a state of alert.
Sandy, it's just after 10:15 in the morning here in Beijing. Xinhua, the Chinese news agency, has reported that the 3rd asteroid hit at 9:29 a.m. Beijing time. It struck at 105 degrees east, 45 degrees north along China's border with Mongolia. While little more has come from the government here, Reuters has just released this aerial photo taken by the French satellite agency SPOT from 12 miles above the Earth. The crater is almost a mile and a half across. Denise, that's almost identical, I repeat, identical to the Wyoming impact site. What do you know about casualties? Well, Sandy, Tiansang is in a remote area of the Gobi Desert with no rail lines and few highways in or out. As a result, it may be days before the full damage from this 3rd impact site can be assessed. We'll be back to you, Denise, as soon as there's more. I thank you. We switch now to the Johnson Space Center, where Matt Jensen is standing by.
Sandy, the NASA scientists who track these enormous asteroids sometimes refer to them as killer rocks. As such, one of the first questions we asked was how? How could an asteroid of this magnitude have come so close to Earth and not be detected till impact? In July, the comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 struck the planet Jupiter in a series of massive impacts equal in force to 2 million hydrogen bombs. These events were monitored worldwide through the enormous eye of the Hubble Space Telescope orbiting the Earth. Scientists had known for months that these events on Jupiter were about to take place. In fact, they were actually able to predict the precise moments of impact. Dr. Kurt Loudon was one of the NASA scientists tracking Shoemaker-Levy. Well, what about it, Doctor? Why the surprise this time?
Well, first off, there are at present some 2,500 near-Earth asteroids, magnitude 1 mile and above, that could intersect with the Earth. We've only identified about 10% of them, and those have all been on benign trajectories.
Until tonight.
Yes, well, you see, if an asteroid is coming directly towards the Earth, it's very difficult to see it until it's literally on top of us.
Dr. Loudon, this is Sandra Van Oker in Washington. Do I understand you to say the Earth is at risk from more of these asteroids?
Well, not to sound alarmist, but if one of those rocks came down on a big city, well...
Well, what, Doctor?
Let's just say it would make Hiroshima seem like a 3-alarm fire.
Thank you. That was Dr. Kurt Loudon at the Johnson Space Center. In a moment, we'll be joined by Dr. Carolyn Jaffe, Evening World News science editor. But first, some rather startling developments from correspondent Bree Walker.
Sandy, we're told now that at least 3 men perished in the firestorm touched off by the impact from the meteorite. Believed to be sheep ranchers who were leasing grazing lands from the nearby Thunder Basin National Grasslands. What you are seeing is live and unedited. It's hard to believe, but only hours ago I was camping in these hills. This was lush, green grazing land, leased by the federal government to sheep ranchers for their herds. Now, it's all just ash and char. You can see the bodies of dead animals scattered everywhere.
Bree, you should know your signal's breaking up.
This kind of devastation.
Wait a minute, something moved.
What? What? Where?
Down there to the left. You see that thing by the fire?
Let's get a closer look. Go in. Oh, I see. God, it's moving.
All I know
Over there
is
a
the
little.
helicopter is over Thunder Basin National Grasslands. You have the picture.
Come on, Billy.
My
Let's
God,
go down.
it's a human
Let's
being.
see. Let's go get her. Come on, Billy.
Okay.
I have no idea how anyone could have survived this, but that is a human being. It appears to be a child. It's a child. We're moving in. What you're seeing, Bree Walker, her cameraman, Billy Dunn. Now you're not seeing it. I hope you will. They're moving in. There they are. That's Bree moving in on what appears to be a survivor. She's moving toward the child.
Okay.
She's moving toward the child. There she is.
It's okay.
Cameraman William Dunn behind her. It is definitely a child.
It's all right.
Okay.
It looks like it is a little girl. It is a little girl.
I'm in the chopper. It's okay.
I cannot tell you what she is saying. As you can see, she appears badly burned. How she survived, I will never know. Apparently, we've lost our signal. That's just extraordinary to think that anyone could have survived so close to that fire zone. It appears the child was trying to say something incomprehensible. She obviously was in shock. We'll try to get back with correspondent Walker to learn more about that little girl's condition. In the meantime, we'll give our affiliates a chance to break. This is Sandra Van Oker in Washington.
Here once again is Sandra Van Oker.
If you're just tuning in, all of us witnessed a remarkable rescue tonight. After 3 fragments from a giant asteroid fell to Earth, causing untold damage worldwide, an Evening World News crew was flying over one of the impact sites when they saw something moving. Correspondent Bree Walker and cameraman William Dunn found a survivor, a little girl. We still don't know who she is or what she was saying. At this moment, our helicopter is flying her to Mercy Medical Center in Casper, Wyoming, and we'll get word to you on her condition just as soon as we have it. Joining me now is our science editor, Dr. Carolyn Jaffe.
Sandy, in the grip of a story like this, it's a reporter's job to hold back, remain dispassionate, and yet, when you look in the eyes of that child, you can't help but be moved.
I understand you've prepared a report on just how powerful these meteors can be.
That's right, Sandy. The philosopher George Santayana once said that he who forgets history is destined to repeat it. Well, the 3 asteroid fragments that rained down on the Earth tonight weren't the first, and most likely they won't be the last. The crater at Winslow, Arizona, more than half a mile across, an enormous hole caused by an iron asteroid just 60 meters wide that hit more than 50,000